Kia ora. Well, you don't have to be a meteorologist to know that's a fairly messy looking story. Low pressure moving closer towards New Zealand as we head through the rest of Thursday brings some heavy rainfall with it, especially around these western facing parts of the South Island through the rest of today. But as we head through towards tomorrow, find that band of wet weather makes its way on towards the North Island as well. For today, though, heavy rainfall warnings for parts of Westland, the northwest parts of the Tasman district, the Richmond-Bryant range. But you can see this rain spreads across and also feeds down towards the south as well. So although drier start today down in Invercargill, we'll find it turns cloudier and wetter through the day. A bit of a clearance behind this first front for the likes of Christchurch and Canterbury. But generally, the story for today is one of cloudy weather, very mild air and wet weather as well. As we head through the night time, we'll find the system continues to move across New Zealand, brings that heavy rainfall on towards parts of, say, Taranaki, the Tara Range, and that rain feeding on towards the North Island. We'll still keep hold of some showers up the western coast, but you can see there'll be a clearance for the night time for places like Nelson and the northern parts of Canterbury. Generally, though, we're going to keep hold of a fair bit of cloudy air, but also incredibly mild air as well. Check out these nighttime temperatures. These are our minimum temperatures as we head in towards the early hours of the morning tomorrow for Friday. So a very warm, very muggy night in store. Nighttime lows of 17 degrees Celsius in Napier, 18 in Auckland, and even down in through parts of, say, Southland, 11s and 12s. So a very mild night across the board and very warm night, in fact, across the likes of the North Island. Very high humidity as well, so a warm, muggy night, making it not that comfortable for sleeping. So a bit of a murky one for the first thing on Friday. You can see this wet weather continues to move across the North Island. Perhaps one or two fairly heavy bursts in there, one or two downpours. So there are some severe weather watches for places like Northland and the Eastern Bay of Plenty. A bit more in the way of showery weather feeds back up on towards the South Island as this wind turns around to the south and brings some cooler air back in towards Christchurch. A cloudy end to the day for your anniversary day through Canterbury. Some showers, mostly in those southern areas, but some of those can be fairly heavy, perhaps even the odd rumble of thunder through those inland areas as well. But some clearer skies around those far western parts of the South Island by the end of the day. As I said, we have got some severe weather watches and warnings already in place. The warnings for the higher parts of Westland, the northwestern parts of the Tasman area, the Richmond-Bryant ranges, Taranaki and Monga. But you can see we've also got watches in place for areas such as Northland and the Eastern Bay of Plenty. That's where that rain runs through on Friday, and for some of those ranges on the South Island as well. So it is worth keeping a close eye on the forecast. The heaviest rainfall for the North Island really as we head into Friday. So let's have a look at Friday. Well, we start off with that rain. You can see draped across from Taranaki down towards Wellington. As we head through the daytime, that will continue to move northwards. These darker blues, a good indication there's some fairly heavy, fairly active systems running through us as well. So it could be one or two fairly intense bursts of rain as it takes its time to clear through. For Auckland, a bit of clearance in the evening. If you're off to see Coldplay, you might find it's a bit of a wet start, but hopefully by the time the encores come on, you should be into for some drier weather there. The rain does take its time to clear through the Bay of Plenty, particularly these eastern areas. And even on this eastern coast, although the winds are northwesterly and you get a bit of shelter from the higher ground, I think it will still stay fairly cloudy. And I think there's still some scattered rain that makes its way across on towards that eastern coast as well. By the end of the day in Wellington, it's a much better story. But I think we might just find a few showers skirting up from the south right at the end of the day. In terms of our temperatures, remember we're starting off in places like Auckland around about 18 degrees Celsius, so it's already a pretty warm day. Highs around about 21 degrees Celsius up north, 18 or so down in Wellington. And looking down towards the South Island, plenty of active weather running across the island as we head through the daytime today. By tomorrow, the low pressure is offshore, does start to bring that southerly up across those far eastern parts. So places like Canterbury, particularly those inland areas, could be some fairly heavy showers for you through the end of the day. For those northern parts of Canterbury, starting off dry, and not a bad start today, turning cloudier through the day, and I think we'll find some showers creeping up towards you as we head through the daytime. Early showers clearing away from that western coast to leave behind some brightness and some sunshine. You'll notice perhaps a little bit of a fresh dust in the snow right at the very highest parts of the mountains as we go through towards the end of the day tomorrow. Snow above about 800-900 metres or so, so it really is only those higher areas. But I think it's a good indication that the temperature will be changing. And so I think we are going to find things are a fair bit cooler, especially as we head in towards Saturday. But Friday night will be a much more bearable night, should we put it that way. Daytime highs around about 20 degrees Celsius in Christchurch, 24 up there in Blenheim. And I think our nighttime lows back into single figures for the South Island as we head through Friday night in towards Saturday morning. So a much more comfortable night in terms of sleeping. Looking ahead in towards the weekend, well, we are going to find we're back into southwesterly. So our temperatures on Saturday, cooler. So not nearly as warm to start the day. I think we are going to find still some showers, mostly about these eastern and southern areas. You can see them pushing up through and towards parts of Canterbury, up in towards parts of Hawke's Bay as well, especially those northern areas, up in towards the Wairoa district and perhaps up and round into Tairafti as well. On the western coast, generally things are dry and settled. Not a bad looking day in Auckland for you on a Saturday. Once that rain clears through on Friday, things are looking much better through the weekend. On Sunday, higher pressure builds back towards us, generally brings some more settled, quieter conditions. It's going to be a chilly night, I think, Saturday into Sunday. Nice clear skies and dry weather. A touch more cloud around those eastern areas. You can see the winds pushing that rain, pushing that cloud on towards those eastern parts of Hawke's Bay and Gisborne. Generally, though, Sunday is looking like a great day. Plenty of clear sky and staying dry. To get there, we have got a fairly active couple of days. Thursday, Friday, particularly for the North Island and places like Northland, Auckland, Waitomo. So do keep a close eye on the forecast, and especially those severe weather watches and warnings. And as always, you can find all of that information over at metservice.com.